Okay, dogs are fed and they're back in the house where it's nice and cool and more progress. I had to stop by the auto parts store, get some clamps. Radiator hose is in. Well, welcome back to the channel. Been a minute since I've done car stuff. The last video was over the base area of basic hot rods, but I'm going to get back to the car stuff, which is what most of you are here for, judging from the comments and the actual response to the videos. We're back on the 32 today. Again, I'm still waiting on the dash from the new guys running Hurricane Cobras for the dash in my Cobra, which is perfectly cool because they are currently at the London, Ohio Cobra show. They've been sending feed updates and stuff like that. I'm hoping to go to that show next year in my current Cobra, assuming I get it done. As far as the 32 goes, we've been problem solving, and let me show you what we've done. Okay, I'm going to struggle showing you this, but what I'm going to attempt to show is looking under here, the drivetrain, and if you can see that, I don't know if you can, the drivetrain is totally connected now. The drive shaft has been received and installed. I did run into a minor issue with the drive shaft when I received it. First of all, shout out to Josh and everybody at Eastside Motorsports in Tennessee. They got the drive shaft to me exactly as ordered. Problem was I made an error on the calculations and the measurements. Not sure where I went wrong, but I was off by about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. So what delayed me getting the drive shaft installed is I had to take it to a local shop who I've also done quite a bit of business with. They did the drive shaft to that truck, and I had to have them take, I think they took a total of 3/4 of an inch out of it just to give me a little bit of breathing room on it. But it is fixed, it is in place, and we're good to go on that. The quality of the drive shaft is top notch. I appreciate the guys at Eastside Motorsports. Not their fault that it was too long, totally mine. I screwed up the measurements, so I had to get that fixed. Fortunately, there's a shop here locally that can do that. On to other things. The item that has been the bane of my existence in this project so far, the worst part of it anyway, was getting V-belts. And as you can see, we finally got the V-belts installed. I already had the one for the alternator, we were good to go. Kept having trouble getting one of these for the air conditioning compressor. The problem I was running into with that V-belt is the first measurement I took, it was a little bit too short. Not that big of a deal, but I couldn't get it to fit over the pulleys. Well, I thought it was enough of a distance to where I kind of went a little bit too far on the long end of the spectrum, and I ordered one end that was too long, backed it down too long, and then I found out that there was a 7483 model Gates belt that was the next size up from the first one that I tried that was too short. It was still too long. What the hell? Talked to the guys at CVF, which are who I got my pulleys from, and there's actually a specific way that you have to install the drive belt on the air conditioning compressor. As you can see, these pulley grooves are very, very deep. And the problem I was having was getting the belt to fit over that. What I ended up having to do, if I can get past this radiator hose, which I'm going to complete the installation of it, this right here is the adjuster. I had to take it loose right here so I can move this in to get that to fit around it. Then I rebolted that into place and tightened it up. And as you can see here, we've got good tightness on everything. The V-belt issue is solved. Now I'm going to put a pause on my video shooting just for a moment because having 3 dogs mean they have to eat. I'm going to feed the dogs real quickly, and then I've got to run to the store so I can get clamps for the upper water hose, radiator hose, to go to the upper radiator mount. So if you'll stand by, we'll get back to that in just a minute.
A few moments later.
Okay, dogs are fed and they're back in the house where it's nice and cool and more progress. I had to stop by the auto parts store, get some clamps. Radiator hose is in position. So what this means is, with the exception of the heater hoses, which I've still got to drill holes in the firewall to run those to the air conditioning evaporator, all the radiator plumbing is done. So with this, I'm about to put the hood back on and make sure it all fits nice and tight. So let's see what we got there. All right, long answer short. Quick connectors are in place. Hood fits beautifully. Stop me if you've heard me say this before, but this is the exciting part because it's really starting to look like a car. All the belts are on. I've got the fuel lines run. Radiator hoses, with the exception of the heater hoses, are run. So what's next? The short answer to what is next is quite simple. Run the plumbing for the air conditioning and heater hoses. Once that is done, we start doing the wiring. Now I've already got some preliminary stuff done. Let me show you that. Taking a quick gander inside the car, remember, air conditioning evaporator is hooked up. This is the wiring harness that I'm going to be using, but more importantly, I've got the gauges mounted in the dash. Probably got some holes to drill to allow for the mounting of the ignition cylinder, the keys, where the keys go basically. I may get creative with that, but at that point where we are now is wiring, mount the dash, and get everything to work. Then what? What will probably come next, and please excuse the mess here, I am literally sweating to death. The reason my videos have been few and far between is there's no breeze for the last several days. The heat index, literally, not making this up, the heat index has been in the neighborhood of 117 to 120 degrees where I'm located. I've only been out here about 10 minutes. You can see the sweat is pouring off of me. Just too hot to work out here right now. That's why I haven't done that. I've got the fans, but frankly the fans just feel like you're putting a blow dryer in front of you. It is that hot here. But as far as what comes next on this, wiring, mounting the dash, as I stated. After that, I'm going to take it to the exhaust shop and get the undercar exhaust run. At that point, we get it close to starting it for the first time. After we start it, we burn everything in, do bugs, correct bugs and things of that nature, and then at that point it's to the interior shop. We're getting there. Well, since I am having to stop filming every 5 seconds to wipe the sweat off my glasses so I can actually see, I'm going to call this video done. I want to thank all of you for joining me again. Stay tuned. I'm going to be getting back on the Cobra very, very soon. See, I can't even keep my eyes open because the sweat is so bad. But we got more work to do on the Cobra as soon as we get the dash in from Hurricane, and of course more work on the 32 as well. Plus, got some base stuff coming too. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time.